The live-action 2017 Fullmetal Alchemist film directed by Fumihiko Sori is a film that I think will please a lot of fans, and especially fans of Japanese anime, from the slew of Hollywood duds that have done from Japanese properties like Ghost in the Shell and the Netflix Death Note film. Especially with this film now premiering in Japan, I definitely had the chance of seeing the film in its worldwide premiere on Anime NYC in New York last month. And of course, I wanted to accumulate my thoughts of the film itself, and not go into too much spoilers, and not make this video a bit longer as it is. But I definitely enjoyed the film, and I definitely will see it again once it has its limited theatrical run next year. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Of course, Fumihiko Sori did the wisest choice of waiting a little bit more in the years gone by in order to have fully grown CGI technology. Because let's be honest here, Japanese adaptations of Japanese properties, the CGI definitely feels the weakest link. Of course, the biggest example would be the Attack on Titan films, which made the Titans look ridiculously even more cartoony than how they were in the anime itself. But of course, this is one of those rare instances of a Japanese film where the CGI is actually really good. Now, of course, it's still not in the highest caliber that you would see from a Marvel or a Star Wars film, but this is the closest we can actually get to a Japanese film where the CGI is up into the standards that we Americans or anybody else outside of Japan could see that, wow, this is really fucking good. It's so good, in fact, that throughout the majority of the movie, Alphonse Eric is actually CGI. It's not like a dude in a bodysuit or whatever, which I thought it was throughout seeing the movie in Anime NYC. But in actuality, it was entirely CGI. Like, Alphonse was a CG character in the suit of armor, which was really impressive that the movie was able to do that. Now, of course, all the other Japanese actors and actresses, they did a fantastic job in recreating what the characters act, they feel like, etc. Now, of course, there are some downsides to it, which could be a little bit of nitpicks, and then the other could be a valid criticism. The nitpick would be the actress who plays Winry Rockbell, Tsubasa Honda, not really having a wig, or at least dyeing her hair to be blonde, because Winry in the manga and anime, she is blonde. In the movie, she kind of just, Honda, she just kind of has her natural hair and just goes on stage, which of course, she actually does do a great job portraying Winry, but it's still kind of a bit weird that there wasn't any, she didn't dye her hair or have a wig on her to be able to play Winry herself. And then, of course, there are certain instances where Yamada, the actor who played Edward, can sometimes feel a little bit childish, which Edward in the series, he's like maybe 14 or 15 from the start of the series. When he acts like a little brat, you kind of believe it because of his short height. But Yamada, he's quite older. I think he's 19 or 20 years old from the start of the making of the movie, and it feels a little bit weird that an older dude is playing someone as a little bit younger as Edward. But of course, the chemistry for Yamada and Mitsushi, who does the voice of Alphonse Eric and the CG character, it really does do well. And of course, a certain instance of Mitsushi, who does the voice of Alphonse, sometimes feels a little bit deadpan, like somehow they got the voice actor who does Mob for Mob Psycho 100 doing Alphonse, which of course Alphonse, he does sound deadpan in certain instances in the anime of the 2003 adaptation and Brotherhood, but he doesn't feel deadpanish in most of the performance he does. Now, of course, the plot is basically sewn together through certain moments, which I'm not going to spoil in this video, but Sora, he sews in certain moments from the manga and anime, and does a little bit of an original spin to it for the film itself, because as Sora said throughout the presentation, beginning and end, he didn't want to make it feel like sequel bait. Aside from the post-credits, which of course if you're going to see the movie, wait until the post-credits scene in order to see something, which I'm not spoiling here. But Sori, he stated that he didn't want to make it a sequel bait, and that if the movie failed or not, at least he wanted to make it as standalone as possible. And for that, the mission was completed. It was successful, and I think Sori, he does know what these characters feel like. And of course, Arakawa, she definitely does feel like this is a great adaptation for it, and I definitely do like it more than all of the other movies like The Conqueror of Shambhala and The Sacred Stone of Malos. Overall, the 2017 live-action Japanese Fullmetal Alchemist is pretty good. There are going to be certain things that when people do see the movie, they're going to a little bit nitpicky or a little bit hated out of it. But overall, after the slew of Hollywood-produced Japanese movies like Ghost in the Shell and the Netflix Death Note film, the Fullmetal Alchemist film directed by Fumihoki Sori, I definitely think does great to the characters, and I definitely would like to see a sequel in order to expand upon what he's trying to do.